Oh my God, all of you people. Oh my God, and the mini Stoge, who will add in mini Stoge. Yep.
Hello, mini Stoge.
Oh my God. All right, let's see here. We did not get to the last two, correct?
Correct.
Let's see here. That was so. Let's start with I think it's Brandon. Is that right, Carrie-Ann? All right, let's go ahead and start with Brandon's comment.
All right. To Wicked, that's funny.
I missed. What did Twickett say? We can do that now. It's after dark. We changed the rating of the show. Hi, kids.
Hello, Charins.
All right, Brandon.
All right. Next comment comes off of Reddit, actually, from Brandon Mark.
Little Reddit alien.
I says, I would hope with the Anywhere on Earth Fast passenger service, SpaceX's goal is not to be the passenger like Qantas, United Airlines, British Airways, etc., but instead the vehicle supplier like Boeing, Airbus, etc. I mean, how many giant, well-funded competitors does one guy need?
Yeah, so due to conflict of interest, Karen and I will have to bow out. Sick of hearing that yet? We did discuss that fairly in depth, but any additional comments on that, Space Mike?
Not really, no. Sorry.
You, Jared, I mean, we
talked about that.
Yeah, we did that fairly well, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, and then the final comment.
All right.
Comes off of YouTube from Horox101.
Seems like, yep.
Okay. Does the Earth transport version of BFR launch from a barge or something like an oil rig platform attached to the seabed? I only ask because I would have thought something launching with that much thrust could seriously destabilize a floating platform.
Mike?
I mean, it's all about scaling things up. So, I mean, if I know this sounds like a kind of a weak example, but if Copenhagen suborbitals can do it, and if Sea Launch can do it with a Zenit, which is about the same size as a Falcon 9, at least in diameter, why not? Why not just scale something up that can handle it?
Yeah.
Yep, Jared?
I think that's a terrible idea.
What, launching and landing at sea?
Helicopter wash. If you recall any of the Apollo and Gemini recoveries, nearly drowned several astronauts. And a BFR taking off from a platform that's not firmly stationary is going to move all around.
But why wouldn't it be firmly stationary?
Why would it be firmly stationary? Because it's floating in water?
Well, no, I'm saying why wouldn't it? Why not just make it a firmly like an oil rig?
That's what the commenter is asking. Is it going to be launching from an oil rig or a barge?
Well, there was nothing from any video or design in the presentation that said either way.
All of the
I legit don't know.
All of the imagery from the presentation appeared to have just a larger barge-ish looking thing. It doesn't look like it's an oil rig of any substantial mass or size or.
Well, dumb question. If you scale up the drone ship size to 10 times its current size, random number.
I doubt that's enough.
Okay, but some
but
number.
It's not the full BFR part. It's just like the Dragon. It's just like the top part, no?
Yes,
No,
the
because
BFS.
if you're launching the whole
BFS.
thing,
Oh no,
There
you're
you
right.
go.
Yeah.
you
If
got to
you're
have the
doing
whole
a-
thing. So.
Well, wait, do you? Yeah, I know you would. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the spacecraft has enough impulse by itself in order to actually go even point to point. So.
Okay.
But wouldn't you? Yeah, I really.
I feel like this
I
is
really
a-
should
I
bow
don't
out
know.
here. I legit don't know the answers, and so now I'm actually trying to think of ways to do this. And the problem is, if I think of these things, then I say them, and then someone can take that as official something. So I should just stop because it's certainly not official. It's just me well, what if you do this? So yeah, all right. I legit have no inside information. So.
Yeah. I don't know how to answer that because there's not enough data. I require more data. Please input.
All right, should we do some space newsy things?
Sure.
All right, who's up first? Space Mike? Let me get out of
I'm up
the-
first, but you know what? Let me take a break real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, we don't allow breaks.
Use the bathroom for a little bit of a while. So
Okay,
hang on
bye.
just 1 second. Sorry.
You guys want to just slide over one?
Sure.
Okay.
Actually, why don't we try something new this time?
Great.
Okay.
So, Carrie, it's just going to be you and Mike, and then we'll swap over to just you and Jared.
I right, I'll get the heck
I
out
heard
of
that
here.
real quick. If you guys want, you
I'm
can
leaving.
do Jared's first.
We
Yeah, why don't
do
we do? Yeah,
Jared's
let's do
first.
Jared's first. That's a good idea. So Jared, sit in your chair.
Well, do you want?
No, I'm gonna
Okay.
move it out of the way. I think I just need to move it a little bit.
Oh, my legs.
Still on screen.
I'm gonna tweak
Okay.
things. All of the, everyone's like, get rid of the tape. It's like, those are our markers. We just need to make them a different color.
The big comfy couch is still here. It's just for guists.
It's for me to snore on.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
that was pretty funny.
Could you hear me
So-
snoring the other day?
No, but,
mean,
that's good.
but
could,
when I
but-
looked over, you were definitely like out. There was no doubt about it. You had either been on a 16-hour flight or you had had an
got-
entire bottle of Fireball. So
I had got almost no sleep on that flight. I did great going to Australia. I slept like a baby. When I woke up, I immediately acclimated to their time zone. It's as if I never left. And then coming back, it was the exact opposite of that. It was like the world hated me and wouldn't let me sleep for days on end. Yeah, it was awful. This is interesting. That's the look I get every morning when she's like, what are you talking about? Show the world, Dada.
So that shot with it being offset would be a good place for you to put your slates or your boxes for
Well, yeah, but I mean,
linking to the show.
yeah, but she's zoomed down, so I don't need to offset it.
That's the look of she hates you.
That's what I see every day.
That's because she hates you.
I know. But I love her.
nope. Excuse me.
So annoying.
So,
Me?
So do you want that shot at the end or what?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We can try that. Is that all right, trying that?
Great.
Am I gonna do like I did back in the day, which was
No.
No.
out of the way? Okay, let me actually open up the rundown. You know.
Bidoo, 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 boo, boo. Actually,
I'm gonna talk to the camera. Hi, camera. Where?
You like having your own camera. You like
Are you talking to yourself?
having your own camera. Actually, I kind of like your shot with the giant Earth behind you, or not Earth, the giant planet Y. It looks cool. What? That's creepy. Are you ready?
Jared's shirt is from a band.
Mm-hmm.
Public Broadcasting System.
Oh, was
Yep.
it good?
Oh my gosh, it was an awesome concert.
Oh, jeez. It was really great. Did they play that song that we liked? The Apollo song? The
Yes.
Ready or the Go or whatever
Uh-huh.
it's
Yeah, they
called?
played Go, they played Gagarin, they played quite
Did
a
everyone
lot.
scream Go?
Yep.
At the, yep.
Sure did. So I think the most
Did
amazing...
they all scream stay too?
Yep,
Yeah.
they sure did. The best...
I think that's my favorite part is when they switch from Go to stay and then back to Go.
Yeah, it was so cool. The thing I loved the most about that concert is that during the entire 2 hours they were playing, I only saw a phone out and recording maybe 2 or 3 times.
Huh. People just enjoying
People were
themselves.
so engaged in it that they like completely
that's really
forgot
cool.
to do that. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, it was pretty fun.
All right, let's
Opening
do-
band was pretty good too, but you know, pretty cool. So.
Let's do this thing. Oh shit, I didn't even realize they were playing live. I almost would have wanted to go see them. I mean, I wouldn't have, but I would have almost wanted
Yeah,
to.
you were in another
I was in a-
hemisphere.
Ah, dang it.
So I mean, you could have jumped on the BFR and flown in for a little bit and made that happen. but-
After taking that flight, I understand the point-to-point Earth stuff now. It makes a lot more sense to me.
yeah, the longest flight I've ever been on is 4.5 hours.
Even
so.
those are pretty terrible, right?
Oh, I just look out the window and enjoy
it's
it.
the edge of what I can tolerate. All right, let's do. I'm sorry, I'm distracting us.
We're
Let's
all
do this
good,
thing.
so.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have to do that, right?
Yeah, but I feel like I do. There's even more news that we didn't get a chance to get to. I can't speak. Let me try that again. I hate my announcer voice.
You're fine.
There's even more news that we didn't get a chance to get to on Orbit 10.37, and I'm not saying it's aliens, but Jared?
It's not aliens.
Oh, okay,
So
checking.
yeah, really sorry, everybody. But of course, what the flux?
What the flux?
I guess is how this has been going. The most mysterious star in the galaxy that many a Redditor has insisted that is being controlled by aliens, turns out actually isn't. And yes, this is the proverbial cut on the face of aliens causing the dim of Tabby's star, freshly delivered by Occam's razor, of course. We're actually seeing us scientists narrowing in on what's causing the dimming around Tabby's star. Now, data from the Kepler Space Telescope showed that this star was dimming sometimes up to 22% of its nominal light output in very rapid amounts of time. This is particularly unusual. I actually made a space pod back in 2015 in which several comments soundly and thoroughly criticized me for not admitting that it was aliens. Well, us pesky scientists have done what we tend to typically do, which is go get some more data and look at it. Now, specifically, we looked at data from previous observations where Tabby's star was within a study's field of view. And the earliest data that we actually have on Tabby's star goes all the way back to 1890. So we have over a century's worth of data. And then that data goes all the way to 1989. And during that time period, from 1890 to 1989, Tabby's star dimmed a whopping 20%. But it was not as pronounced like the recent dimmings. It was quite linear, basically. It followed a nice steady slope. Now, this actually isn't as unexpected or a mysterious occurrence. Changes in a star's magnetic field can actually cause these kinds of dramatic dips in the star's light output. But the real nail in the coffin for the hypothesis of Tabby's star dimming due to an alien megastructure is the overall output of light across all wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum. So, not just invisible light, the light that your and I eyes can see. Tabby's team looked at Tabby's star in infrared and ultraviolet light using NASA's Spitzer and Swift space telescopes, respectively. There was no dimming overall in infrared, but in ultraviolet, there was quite a reduction in the overall output or reception of ultraviolet light. Now, this tells us that whatever is blocking the light from Tabby's star is uniform in size enough so that it will allow infrared light through, but it will prevent ultraviolet light from getting through easily. And we know of only one thing that can do that is found quite a lot out in space. Dust. Yes, if it were an alien megastructure, we would actually expect to see uniform dimming in all wavelengths of light. But because the dimming is coming mostly from ultraviolet and that light from the infrared wavelengths is getting through whatever is causing the dimming, we're pretty confident that it's actually dust. It's not aliens. So the same stuff that you should be cleaning up around your house, yes, it is preventing the light from Tabby's star actually reaching us. So I'm sorry, everybody. I'm not saying it was aliens because it wasn't aliens. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Jared. If you're interested in this and other spacey things, actually, our main topic on Orbit 10.37 was the newly reformed National Space Council. You can always join us live every Saturday at 1800 UTC.
All right.
Is that all right?
All right, I'm getting out of here. Get out of there.
All right, you move over. Well, maybe you don't need to. I'll just move cameras. You choose. Those two chairs need to kiss now. Ow! All right, let's see here. This wheel goes. It goes like. Ooh. Trying to not hit you. Dun 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 dun.
What are you talking?
I was making the dun 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 noise.
It's weird.
Figure out where to get the Szechuan sauce at today.
Okay, that was a weird thing to unmute on.
Oh, no, not
Mulan
really.
Szechuan
It's
sauce?
Jared.
Oh, did I turn my mic back on?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I turned it off. I will turn it back on.
Monster.
It was kind of funny because it was like total silence and like, and Szechuan sauce. I'm like, okay. I mean, I get it. I just
That's neat, Jared.
surprised. That's all.
We gotta get the Mulan Szechuan.
Sorry, I didn't.
don't
I
understand.
didn't realize I
It's
turned
totally
it
fine.
back on.
All right. Mike, you ready?
I think so. Hang on just a second here. Okay.
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, Radcliffe, yeah. The please recenter yourself in the view screen joke reminded me of Ben. Yeah, totally. If you could just a little over, yeah. No,
I'm really digging on the Orville.
Yeah, that's better.
I'm digging on the Orville.
One of my
Orville's awesome.
one of my Facebook friends said Orville is better Star Trek than the new Star Trek is.
It is. So I don't dislike either. So the problem is that the new Star Trek isn't Star Trek, but it's still good sci-fi. It just shouldn't have the Star Trek tag on it, if that makes sense.
Feel like a Star Trek show.
It doesn't feel. No, that's the problem. It's good sci-fi. It's just not
That
Star
being
Trek
said,
sci-fi.
I did enjoy it.
Yeah, right. It's
But-
enjoyable sci-fi that's not Star Trek. It doesn't follow canon properly. It doesn't follow. Anyhow, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
Well, this topic isn't redacted for you. You can speak. It's okay.
No. Let's get through the news, and then we'll talk Discovery versus Orville. How about that? Why am I getting side eyes? I was getting nasty side eyes. I mean, they're cute and pretty side eyes, but they were still.
Swear to God, you talk so much.
Falcon. I talk so Falcon much.
Yeah.
That was an amazing moment. It needs to be on a shirt. that was probably my favorite moment of the show.
Shut the Falcon up.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
It was so brilliant. It was so brilliant. All right, do it.
Yeah, Nanoracks.
Is that how we're starting?
No, I'll let you start, Carrie. Sorry.
Oh, for Falcon's sake.
No, I like nanoracks.
What the flux is going on in here?
Yeah, what the flux is also really good. So there's even more news that we didn't get a chance to get to on this last week's Orbit 10.37. Mike, Nanoracks, what's going on over there?
Yeah, so Nanoracks announced this week that they have raised an undisclosed amount of money to be able to support their commercial airlock module that they want to attach to the International Space Station. A commercial airlock that would be used mostly for the deployment of CubeSats and microsatellites, but that would have way more volume than the Kibo module that currently launches a lot of these microsatellites and CubeSats. So Nanoracks said that Space Angels, formerly the Space Angels Network, led the investment round, and Jeff Manber, the chief executive of Nanoracks, said in a statement that this investment will expedite our production, and it's wonderful to have Space Angels invested in this landmark program to enable the future of commercial space. Now, Nanoracks hopes to install their airlock to the International Space Station in 2019, and Nanoracks signed an unfunded Space Act agreement with NASA in 2016 to develop the airlock, and not only would it be able to handle a larger volume of commercial satellite deployment than Kibo does, but it could also house externally mounted payloads and experiments as well. And the airlock itself could be berthed to the unused port currently on the Tranquility module, where the cupola and the beam module are currently attached. The beam module would be kind of on the right-hand port of that, on the opposite of the permanent logistics module that you see on the left there. But with this program, right now, there's a formal manifesting of the payload on a resupply flight, and it would be stored in the trunk of one of the Dragon commercial resupply services flights. And it's being manufactured right now. They already have pieces of this that exist. They're bending metal. And NanoRacks has long-term ambitions to develop its own commercial station. And it's part of the whole Ixion partnership with Space Systems Loral and United Launch Alliance to study refitting upper stages that could be used as habitation modules for NASA's Next Step program. So this is just the beginning of NanoRacks' own kind of space station module ambitions. And I'm excited and happy for them that they've been able to get the money that they need through private investments to be able to push this forward. And hopefully it does launch when they hope to in 2019. So very good news.
Yeah, very good. It brings a whole new and much better meaning to throw it out the airlock. So on Orbit 10.37, our main topic was actually about the newly reformed National Space Council here in the U.S. And if these kinds of things interest you, feel free to always join us live every Saturday at 1800 UTC.
Nice. Good job.
Yay.
All right, so people are.
Jebediah, yes, we read the posts. Jebediah, I'm reading what you're saying right now. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do then?
My God. So they're asking what I mean by Discovery not being Star Trek. Star Trek is traditionally, so it's a.
Although Shaky, you said that Discovery was NCC 1031?
1031.
1031?
Instead of 1301.
Instead of 1301? What? Okay.
You mean 1701?
Or 1701.
That was the
Okay.
Enterprise.
1031 instead of 1701. Is that what you're saying?
So is this supposed to take place
What-
before Enterprise?
I don't know. What was the. What
No,
was
it's after.
Discovery's-
Well, you mean Starship or the thing?
What is Discovery's orbital vehicle number?
NCC 1031.
No.
No,
Space shuttle.
But Discovery.
STS Discovery was
OV
103.
103, I think.
Do you think it is in honor
I don't know.
of that?
That'd be kind of cool.
I feel like that. Also,
So-
I
2
heard
points
an
to me for
interesting
pulling that one out of
theory
my butt
about
because
it.
I figured
Actually,
that's what it was.
yeah, that's bonus points on that one. So
I heard an interesting theory as to what that could mean. It could allude to something else too, which we can talk to about in a second if you want.
oh, go ahead. Well, yeah, go ahead with that, and then I'll go into why I don't think it's Star Trek.
I heard a really interesting theory that, especially after, I don't know if you guys have seen episode 3 yet or not.
I personally
I'll
haven't
try
seen
not to
any
give
of the
away
Star
any
Trek
spoilers,
Discovery
but there's
stuff.
just-
But you can
Okay.
you can feel free to. It doesn't bother me.
Spoilers
Other
incoming.
people. Sure.
Spoilers
Spoiler.
incoming.
Great. Go.
Spoilers incoming. There is weird stuff that kind of alludes to stuff that Star Trek has talked about in the past about how there's like corrupt admirals and corrupt, people within the like government of Starfleet, so to speak. And episode 3 kind of alludes to stuff like that, which goes to a like secret society within Starfleet. And this is canon that's like was brought up in like Next Generation and a lot in Deep Space Nine and in Voyager. This like kind of informal agency that exists called Section 31. And that maybe the whole premise of Star Trek Discovery isn't necessarily the episodic, a contained adventure within each episode, and they have a lesson learned when they go down to the planet, and that kind of formula that Star Trek is. This is a serialized show, which is more a lot like the television and the storytelling that we're kind of used to now, which is fine, but maybe it's more about those kind of clandestine secret activities, and maybe that's how they're getting around the whole, this is canon. Like, this did actually happen, but the reason why no one talks about it is because it's all secret.
So Davey was saying that it's supposed to be 10 years before Enterprise.
Yeah, the Wikipedia page says that it's set roughly a decade before the events of the original Star Trek series, and separate from the timeline of the concurrent feature films.
Okay, so before
But
TOS.
not to be confused with Star Trek Enterprise.
With, no offense, but any Star Trek fan, even a mild fan, when you start referring to the original series, you typically don't call it the original series. You typically call it TOS or Deep Space Nine. You typically call it DS9. Voyager is just Voyager because it's just Voyager. Discovery is going to have to be called Discovery because STD is got to be the worst initials for just about anything other than a sexually transmitted disease known to man.
Star Trek woke.
So,
Unless everyone keeps hating it, and then that's whatever the
I don't
hardcore
hate it.
fans
I
will
legit don't hate it, and some people are saying it's bad
There's things
sci-fi.
about it that bother me, but I still like it.
Come towards me.
Sorry.
So,
Do I have to?
yeah. So here's my thing. I have cooties.
You do.
Yeah, actually, I do right now. So here's my thing and why I don't consider it Star Trek, but I do consider it decent sci-fi. Is that
Disco. That's hilarious. We can definitely call it that. Go on.
Star Trek is traditionally, from the original series and even and TNG and even Voyager and whatnot, although they've been getting worse at it through time, is an optimistic view of the future when humanity has figured out how to get around essentially what you were talking about. Corruption, we figured out how to not have poverty anymore. We take care of all humans.
I figured out the key.
The key?
Money.
This is a key.
Money.
Yeah. Well, no, and there's no money in the future.
That's
Right.
the evil. That's everything.
Sure.
You get rid of money and it fixes everything.
I'm not sure that's true, but okay. So that Star Trek it's an optimistic look, but at the same time it is a reflection on current society and some of the issues that we have dealing with us today, and that is what Star Trek has historically been, and that's how I personally view Star Trek. Is it magnifies the issues of today and puts a different spin on them. But still, it's directly looking at these issues in an optimistic, an optimistic utopian future of sorts, right? Where we figured all of this stuff out, and now we're looking back on the issues of today of like, well, that's primitive. Why would you think of that? That's Star Trek. That is not what Discovery is, right? So Discovery is...
That's because apparently it's way older than all the other Star Trek that you were familiar with. Kurt1 in the chat room says, bring back Firefly.
Oh, I love Firefly. So that's actually closer to what I would argue. It's certainly not Firefly, but it's a darker, grungier sci-fi, which is kind of the trend right now. But that's not what Star Trek should be.
Johnny Spacer, I think that you're saying, so Johnny Spacer is saying the thing is utopia is impossible. I don't think, I've never looked at Star Trek as thinking of as being utopia. However, that humans, as a human species, have figured out how to basically work together with each other and with some other species, a few of them. But as we continue to go out and find more and different species of all different kinds of what humans would call aliens, that we need to understand how to work with them and deal with them and have them deal with us so that we can continue to have peaceful-esque kind of relationships, if that it makes any sense. And that a lot of, it was, of course, it wasn't designed to do that. It was designed to do, there was, of course, a lot of politics going on at the time, and it was meant to be a reflection of all of the different kinds of issues that we humans were having with each other, right? But I think that's why... So Space Vogel saying, why though, then a pre-original series, another setting, why can't it be different? It should be different because it's before we figured out all of that crap.
But it's
the way they marketed it is that it was supposed to be part of the same universe as the original series and TNG and DS9 and Voyager and even Enterprise.
It doesn't mean that it isn't.
But we've got,
It's just before we figured all that stuff out.
Sure, but they diverged too much. So it can be different, but they made it too different. They added in technology that we shouldn't even have, like they've got holograms moving across the ship.
All right, that's fair.
Right? We don't even have that.
I haven't seen it, so there's that.
Right? That's not okay, right? I mean, they need to take it They went too far.
Well, Destructor 1701 says, yes, Star Trek is back on TV. It's called Orville.
Yes, that's the thing. Orville is better Star Trek than Star Trek is right now. That's not to say that Star Trek Discovery is bad. I know a lot of people don't like it. Maybe that's because they were expecting it to be Star Trek. I disagree. I think Star Trek Discovery actually is good sci-fi. I find it entertaining. I enjoy watching it. I will continue to watch it. I thought they did decent storytelling. They were doing character building on it. I was enjoying myself. It just wasn't what I expected Star Trek to be. It would have been good if it had a different name attached to it. But that's kind of my litmus test there. Is if it didn't say Star Trek in front of it, would I have still watched it? And the answer is yes, I would have. However, the Orville is exactly what I expect Star Trek to be. It also looked at, like, the episode 3 was a great example of shining a spotlight on modern day issues and being like, this is more complex than you think it is. I mean, that's
from
precisely.
The first episode, I thought it was going to be this very immature kind of show. I thought it was going to be like Family Guy in space or something like that. But by episode 3, I was just like,
to be fair, there is a bit of that.
There's
a
still
bit of
There
little bit
is,
of
but
that.
that's probably a more realistic representation of what we humans are going to act like in that setting.
hang on. There was
But by
that.
episode 3, like they're tackling serious issues here. Holy cow!
Come on, that's what they did in the Next Generation too. Data's entire character is exactly that, right? I mean, it's the
I mean,
next.
more like the pilots and stuff like that, like how the two pilots, the two helmsmen, like act and behave. Like I could totally see, people from the internet age, being exactly like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. Like that just seems more realistic than Star Trek in a way, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it.
No, that's fair. Uncle Bill is saying that 10 years is not enough time to be before they figured it all out. That's a fair assessment. Again, I'm coming from the position of I haven't actually seen it, so I can't speak too much to that. But I feel like it is fair-esque to say that it would be different than the original series in a lot of different ways, although the hologram thing, that's complete crap. So I agree with that.
So I love that we're calling it Disco now. Disco
Might as
has so moments of really awful dialogue and rule of cool
Contrivances.
contrivances for the sake of drama. Dutch camera angle. What's a Dutch camera angle? Is that the?
I don't know, but I feel like it shouldn't be in HD at all.
These are
what
Dutch
are
camera angles.
Are those?
They're like they're also called MTV angles.
Oh yeah.
As well.
And lens flares. So uncomfortable to watch. Yeah. So there was some definitely look. So all new series take a moment to get into. Take a few episodes. Orville, no different. Right? Orville, the first two, I was kind of like, maybe I'll try it a little longer. Maybe. And it's episode 3, I think, is what got me hooked on Orville. Same thing with Star Trek Discovery. I think episode 3 is where I started going, okay, I can see where there might be an interesting storyline here of things going on. I'll give it a few more. So, I mean, yeah.
My biggest concern, though, is that the main creator and like writer on this show is Robert Kurtzman.
Wait, hang
What is
on.
he famous for? Lost. So I'm worried this is going to be Star Trek Lost.
Yes, but Lost was a wildly popular show, and if we can get mainstream into sci-fi, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I enjoyed Lost.
Well, I also enjoyed Lost. That's what this show was supposed to be about. So
Hey, when we run out of things to talk about space, that's the deal. We'll make
talk
one about
about disco,
Lost.
apparently.
Yeah, we'll talk about disco. Rebel Ace says, I think the hologram's a good ad because they didn't just come up with it back then, while we can now already make holograms. Okay.
If that's the case, then this
No.
is in the J.J. Abrams universe. It's not in the Prime universe, which
Okay.
is fine. I have no problem with that, but just don't.
First, I want to talk about our ability to make holograms. I don't want to say no, we can't, because that's no longer true.
They suck.
No, we can't make holograms. We can do Pepper's ghost. That's what most people think holograms are. What most people consider to be holograms are not holograms. There's something called Pepper's ghost, where you're projecting on a screen and you can't see the screen. It's a projection. It's not a hologram. They are not the same thing. Having said that, we actually can make holograms for realsies holograms in the lab using machines the size of this entire studio to make a hologram about this big that you can actually look at from multiple directions in 3 dimensions.
we've been able to make holograms since Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah, but if you think about it, the computers used to be as big as this room in order to do simple arithmetic.
Yes, so someday we will be able to make holograms. I'm not saying that is not a thing. However, today, what you see is Pepper's ghost, and the bridge the bridge of a starship does not have giant screens for them to do Pepper's ghost wherever they want. That's not a thing. So saying that, oh, we have holograms now, no.
Peppers.
No, we have Peppers.
Peppers ghost
We
with
have,
force feedback.
We have Peppers and ghosts.
And sometimes we have ghost peppers.
I forget who said it, but somebody said something along the lines of their biggest memory from Next Generation was what's her face, like the pain. Yeah.
Okay, McCoy, more importantly, Pepper's Ghost doesn't really work in 3D. If by you mean doesn't work in 3 dimensions at all and is only 2 dimensions, then yes, that's correct, because it only works in 2 out of the 3 dimensions. Boom.
Has anyone else noticed that the robot character on Orville sounds remarkably like Data?
We thought it was. We thought it was Brett Spiner. We legit thought, they're like, oh my God, they got Brett Spiner. Yeah, we had to look it up too, and we're like,
3 times because I'm like, I swear that's him.
No, it's not. I think he's just emulating Brett Spiner.
And it's driving me crazy.
I know. It sounds like him too. Yep.
I don't get it. It's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
It's good though.
That dude is epic at practical jokes.
Which one?
Brent
Who-
Spiner?
Brett. You know what's fun to watch is if you get the Next Generation crew on like panels and whatnot doing conventions, when they like to mess with each other a lot, and they make fun of each other, and it's amazing, and they are hilarious. And Brett is funny, as is Patrick Stewart. He also likes to mess with them. Jonathan Frakes kind of to a lesser degree. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I feel like we would be that way if we were put in front of if we had a panel
Oh,
in
yes.
front of a whole bunch of people.
Oh, yes.
We would just basically be like,
You would
an
all-
audience.
Yeah. You are out of battery power.
I am out of battery power.
I bet your pack is red. I heard that from here.
Ow. What? Huh?
I just heard his earpiece go in his ear. You're welcome, Internet.
Oh,
my
God.
Yeah. Tomorrow's had hologram since 2017. Thanks, Mini Stoge. Tomorrow, Johnny Spacer, tomorrow at Comic-Con. Oh, so Johnny was also taking issue with me saying utopian. Is probably impossible, but it's a look at that type of future, right? It's much further down that path than we are today. So whether it's true utopia, let's not split hairs on what it actually is. It's trying to emulate that or look at what a true utopia could be. How's that? Or as close as, sounded like crickets. Yeah.
I get it.
All right, so someone's saying real holodeck.
Oh.
What?
Was that not a fresh battery?
Hi everyone, I'm from the company Euclidean.
Okay.
We just released the
That's not a holodeck. What that is projection mapping on multiple walls. It's basically, it's like Pepper's Ghost, but worse, except that it's on multiple walls. That's not even close to a holodeck. A holodeck converts energy into matter. It's not even remotely close to real holodeck.
We're talking Star Trek holograms, and you need to be able to interact with
You
them.
got to be able to interact with them and touch them because it turns energy into physical matter. It's not even in the same league.
I just want a replicator.
Also turns energy into matter, yeah.
That's what I want,
Replicators would be great.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, my hologram. Oh, why are you eating? You shouldn't require any food.
It's in my program. I can't help what's in my subroutines.
It's lunchtime.
Interaction.
It's just it's in
So
order
obsessed
for
with making the illusion look real. Sheesh.
yeah. Kitty makes a really good point, which is that it allows us to have a level of psychological comfort knowing that that the hologram is much like a human.
But not quite. He's never quite
The
reached full
photons do not
humanity.
wanna take you-
Oh.
Seriously, I was freaking hungry. I hadn't eaten anything all day. Sorry.
What?
Oh, all good, all good. The food is holographic too. Red Dwarf 12 is back. Oh, the host or the robot on Red Dwarf, and I don't remember his name.
Chris Radcliffe probably does.
Maybe. Also hosts a podcast, a video podcast or video show like us, not live, about electric cars and the electrification of vehicles called Unplugged. God, what is the name of that? Fully Charged. Thank you. Fully Charged. Also on Patreon. Also a really great show. If you're looking for something else to support on Patreon, highly suggest his show. He does a fantastic job. Yeah, Fully Charged. I contacted him a while ago to be like, hey, Tomorrow Energy, this might be a thing, Tomorrow Energy and Transport. The thing is, he grew so much bigger than us so quickly, it now would be the other way around, so I'm not sure that makes much sense. But yeah. Forgive me for drinking Mountain Dew, but I haven't had caffeine today and I'm dealing with a headache.
You have had caffeine.
Oh my God, I have had caffeine. I have a caffeine headache anyhow. I had a lot of caffeine. I have a headache and I don't know why, because I had a lot of caffeine. I just assumed it was a caffeine headache. I don't know.
That's right. You'll be feeling it later, and you'll be bouncing off the walls.
No, he freaking was bouncing off the walls.
Me?
Yeah, we didn't do a mic check until the first run through this morning.
Is that why he was talking so damn much?
It's the only thing I can figure.
This is how our panel would be. Everyone would be like, Ben's awful. We hate Ben so much. We love you, Ben. That's how that would go.
Except for that last part.
Yeah, I get side eyes from everyone, kind of like what you're doing right now.
I don't
But
hate you.
those are more thanks. I don't hate you.
I just
either.
tolerate you.
Oh my God. We would have an amazing panel. Someone needs to figure out how we can have a panel at Comic-Con because that would be amazing.
See, the problem is that everybody would be convinced that we hate each other.
Maybe.
No, sorry, correction. Everybody would be convinced that we all hate you.
Yeah, no, hang on. As Destructor 1701, yeah, this is why I like the chat room because he says, we love you, Ben. Take it to air. Thank you. We
Take it to air.
minimum amount of time possible.
Great. Stop people loving me.
How fast can I push that button twice?
Awesome.
Yep. Oh, Space Kyle. Wait, we're not all hating Ben anymore. There you go. Take that to air. Then there's oops, hang on. There's this one. Yeah, there's that one. Blame it on Ben. We tolerate each other with all our hearts. That's a good one. Tolerate. Oh my God, Chris, you're totally. Oh wait. Chris, a Comic-Con panel will have to include at least one hologram. Fit Orion late to the party. Oh no. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Actually, it'd be hilarious. Do a Comic-Con panel, but then bring in Mike via the screen. But we would still fly him to Comic-Con.
He's just in the backstage.
He would just be backstage, or like he would just be somewhere else, like in the audience. No, that'd be great. He'd be like the front row of the audience, but then up on stage. Right? Oh my God, that would be amazing. I would love that so much.
Except for those events, the screen is usually like huge and behind you, so Mike would be like Overlord watching over us or something.
But what we need to do is we need to get Mike to back up from the camera enough so that he appears normal sized. So it's like this gigantic screen with an itty bitty mic.
No. We'll do Pepper's Ghost.
The same size the rest of you other.
Pepper's
We'll do Pepper's Ghost and have him sitting there. Yeah, exactly. For no reason, because he'll actually be in the audience.
That's.
Are we winding down? I feel like we're winding down here.
Yeah, we're winding down.
All right. That was a fun
I feel
show.
like the one that the best ghost or the Pepper's ghost that got me the most. Do you guys remember, or maybe you guys might not even remember this or not, but the Coachella 2012 when they did the whole Tupac hologram.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that was
and they all
awesome.
call. That's the thing where everyone started calling them holograms, and I'm like, that is not a hologram. That is a Pepper's Ghost projection. It's a really good one. It's a really good Pepper's Ghost. But we've had this technology for hundreds of years. So stop pretending we've just. Oh, we all have to sing Happy Birthday to Jared. So saith Minnie Stoge. So
I'm pretty sure that's copywritten.
it is copywritten, but we as talent can't sing him Happy Birthday. But I hereby challenge the chat room to sing him Happy Birthday. In chat, I think this would be amazing to watch the scroll of text.
All right.
Yeah, I want to
Let's
see.
see it
I want to
happen.
see in the chat room. Happy birthday! Hang on. Well, I'll see as best I can. Watch that. Don't. Let's see if I can. Can I? Ooh, yikes! How will I be able to? Can I zoom out?
It's a mess.
There
It's
we
an
go.
absolute
There
mess.
you go. This is amazing.
Happy birthday.
This is great.
No, I don't sing.
This is amazing.
Happy joy.
Happy. Oh, good. Only 4 bars.
Oh my God, I love this.
Someone, it's moving too fast.
Jesus.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Slow down. Slow down.
Someone's a negative Nancy. Sheesh.
Stop this birthday. I want to get off.
Thanks everyone so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
All right, bye. Thank you, guys.
Little
you.
town of Bethlehem.